Half of life is lost through charming others, the other half is lost by anxieties caused by others. Leave this play, you've played long enough. You know what's holding you back? You care too much about what people think.
The first thing I realized was
I probably should stop caring about what other people think about me, given that most people don't even like themselves.
Like, the reason you don't go after your real goals in life is because you're scared of how people will view you if you do.
Most people don't even like themselves. Why on earth would you give anybody else that power?
The reason you feel like your life's flying by and you have that feeling something's missing, or you could be doing so much more with your life, is because you're scared to be yourself.
Make yourself happy. If something makes you happy, follow it.
And that's exactly how I felt up until a few months ago. See, over the past few months, I finally came to the realization that not everyone is gonna like you. Whether you go after what you want in life or you don't, regardless, there's still always gonna be someone who has something to say. And if that's the case, wouldn't you agree you may as well go after the things you genuinely want in life? Because think about it. Do you seriously want to get to the end of your life and have to think, I let all these fears hold me back from doing what I really wanted with my life?
The average person tiptoes through life hoping they make it safely to death. What a dumb game!
And if you're similar to me, you probably don't. And that's why you need to be yourself. Because it's through living authentically that you start attracting the things you actually want in life. And that's why I want to show you how I've started to gain the courage to live authentically and start being true to myself. Because I've learned in life that if you aren't able to be true to yourself and live authentically, you're always going to be living in a state of quiet desperation. Always having that subtle feeling that you're leaving so much of your potential on the table.
I'll repeat that. If you want something bad enough, you can't let anybody tell you can't do something, not even yourself.
And in one of Earl Nightingale's great motivational speeches, he said no one can estimate the number of people who live nervous, anxious lives because they daily attempt the impossible, which is to be like someone else. Trust yourself. And see, I heard that quote recently and really resonated with it. Because, you know, if I'm being honest, for the last few months I started to get anxious about what if my goals don't work out? And that's basically because everyone who knows me found out I create content, and I suddenly felt this pressure of like, what if it doesn't work out and I look stupid now for making content? But when I took some time and reflected on it, I ended up writing down a line that's just fueled me to attack my goals with the persistence that I don't know if I've ever felt before. I wrote, stop playing scared. Stop playing like you have something to lose. You don't. Worst case scenario, you go after what you want, it doesn't work out, and you go get a trade or something. Best case scenario, it works out, and guess what? You've made it. See, naturally, we all know deep down there's something truly freeing about being able to fully be yourself. Because it's literally been scientifically proven that the most attractive quality a person can have
is authenticity.
See, when making this video, I wanted to find some evidence for why being yourself is truly so powerful. Because if I didn't, you'd probably watch this video and yeah, you might be inspired to start being authentic for a while, but I understand how it goes. You'd probably forget it after a few days. And I know that because that used to happen to me all the time. And that's why I want to show you this study I found that I subtly had the feeling was always true, but it still completely blew my mind. See, the study was called SPAN, which stands for the Scale of Positive and Negative Emotions. In the study, they put people into these Faraday cages, which of course I had no clue what these were whatsoever, but I've learned that they are basically metal boxes that are completely devoid of any frequency, meaning there's no Wi-Fi, 3G, microwaves. Essentially, there's nothing that emits a frequency present in this thing. And then when the person was in the cage, which I know sounds kinda sus, but anyway, the people in charge of the study started prompting them with different thoughts, tasks, mindsets, and questions in order to determine one thing. What was the vibrational frequency the person's body was operating at when they gave certain responses? For example, when they prompted feelings of anger, guilt, or jealousy in the person, they could clearly tell that the person was operating at a lower vibrational frequency. Then when they prompted the person with positive feelings, it was clear to see that they were operating at a higher vibrational frequency, because it has been scientifically proven that our bodies naturally react to our emotions. For example, our bodies sweat when we feel emotions like anxiety, or our heart rate increases when we feel fear. And so these scientists basically wanted to figure out that if this study is about the scale of positive and negative emotions, what is the highest possible frequency a person can operate at that would put them right at the top of this positive scale? And this scientist, you may know, Gary Brecka, said by determining the person's frequency, a practitioner on a different floor in a different building could literally isolate what mood that person was in with such accuracy that he could tell the difference between passion, elation, joy, arousal, vengeance, anger, and despair. He said they were that accurate. And then he asked the all-important question,
do you know what the most powerful frequency to leave the human body is?
He said it's
400 times more powerful than love.
Which is normally deemed the most powerful frequency, but the most powerful frequency
is actually authenticity.
To essentially become the truest version of yourself with no lies is to operate at the highest form of emotional frequency possible. So that means being your most authentic self is literally the most powerful emotion you can emit as a person. And as crazy as that seems, when I think about it, it makes complete sense. Because I realize the people I found the most inspiring and the ones I've liked the most in my life are the people who have genuinely just learned to be themselves. Like, it's probably the reason me and millions of people are so drawn to someone like David Goggins, for example. Because whether you like what he says or not, you can't deny there's something magnetic about his ability to truly be authentic. Because when you're fully being authentic, you're basically free, because you no longer have the weight of society on you, and you no longer have to put on this weird social mask, which then allows you to become who you really are. As Earl Nightingale said in that same motivational speech, when a person finds himself, when he stops imitating and envying others, there's something in his nature that says, this is it. You found your road at last. And when I heard that quote, it gave me goosebumps, man. And I believe to truly gain the confidence to be yourself, you need to learn to first become authentic with you. Meaning you daily show up for yourself. You daily keep the promises you made to yourself. If you say you're gonna go to the gym tomorrow morning, you have to go. If you say you're gonna study today, you have to do it. Because how can you expect to be authentic with others if you can't even be authentic with yourself? Because the thing I've learned is that when you're authentic with yourself, you inherently set a natural standard where you have to be yourself around others, because it would frustrate you too much inside to be any other way. And see, I actually feel like I'm finally getting to a point in my life where I kinda like me, and that's because I've started living authentically with myself, which is allowing me to be comfortable being me. And before this, that's something I've never been able to say. Ever. Because all through my life I've consistently wanted to know, how do you just stop caring what people think? How do you just pursue your real ambitions without caring about people laughing at you? How can I find the courage to be myself? But looking back at this version of me, I laugh because I wanted all these abilities without first being authentic to me, without first listening to that authentic voice within me that knew what to do all along. But having to be disciplined, constantly doing what I said I was going to do each day, that's too much effort, man. Just give me the secret that will make me confident. And that's why I laugh looking back. I wanted something I didn't deserve. I know I'm sounding like an Earl Nightingale quote book, but he said a person who lacks confidence in himself is a person who has never really tested his powers. And like, by no means am I saying I'm the most confident, authentic person in the world, because trust me, I still have a long way to go as well. But the confidence and ability to not care as much that I felt growing within me over this last year has honestly felt amazing, bro. Because as well, like, really deep it. When you're living each day with the aim of keeping the promises you made to yourself, wouldn't you agree at a certain point you're gonna develop a trust in yourself? You're gonna develop some confidence. You're gonna start believing, geez, if I really do put my mind to something, I actually think I can achieve it. Because I now trust myself to show up each day and do what needs to be done. So at that point, you're obviously not gonna be going into conversations shy or scared to be yourself, because at that point you won't really care if people like you or don't like you, as long as inside you know you are truly being yourself. Because when you start to place your importance on being true to yourself, life just seems to be so much more fulfilling. So brother, stop living to impress everyone, and for once start trying to impress yourself. Because when you see them videos of older people and they're asked the question like, what's some advice you'd give your younger self, a lot of the time they say things like, just go for it. Don't let other people's opinions hold you back from what you want to do with your life. So why can't we just make that decision right now? Because I've realized, we're truly the only ones who hold ourselves back. And when you start to understand that on a deeper level, you almost gain a sense of freedom. And yeah, you can say I'm delusional if you want, but I believe if you really put your mind to something, I'm not saying it will be easy, trust me, but I genuinely believe you can achieve it. Because if one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. Earl Nightingale. As always, I'd really appreciate if you'd subscribe to help grow this community of like-minded people, and leave a comment down below on how you're going to start living true to yourself. Through hard work we grow. Peace.